Celestial Cultivation Chapter, Article 1, The Difference Between Super-Celestial Beings and Buddhas. Xiefeng. May 5, 2006. Super-celestial beings and Buddhas are both evolved forms of angels, creations of the greatest creator, and represent the highest state that humans can attain through cultivation. Both super-celestial beings and Buddhas reside in the Elysium world and possess supernatural abilities as well as transformational powers. Super-celestial beings, they have never lost their way. Buddhas, they have, at one time, lost their way. Super-celestial beings, they possess only one rank. Buddhas, they have 10 ranks. Super-celestial beings, they belong to a category of Buddhas who are not constrained by divine power. Buddhas, not all Buddhas are super-celestial beings. Super-celestial beings, they have only one base, the Celestial Islands continent in the Elysium world. Buddhas, they have 10 bases, namely Lotus continent, Borneo continent, Kasayapa continent, Ingwu continent, Amida Buddha continent, Celestial Islands continent, Three Realms Transit Continent, Moon Temple Continent, God's Continent, and Supreme Enlightenment Continent. Super-celestial beings, they are completely free and unrestrained. Buddhas, they are bound by divine laws and must strictly adhere to precepts. Super-celestial beings, they can freely transform into human forms. Buddhas, they can transform into human forms only if dispatched by the heavenly realm, otherwise, such a transformation would violate heavenly laws. Super-celestial beings, they are Buddhas, yet they do not necessarily have to worship other Buddhas. Buddhas, not every Buddha becomes a super-celestial being. Super-celestial beings, they are the most beloved beings of the greatest creator. Buddhas, they are subject to strict control by the greatest creator. Super-celestial beings, they can emerge from among Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, and ordinary people alike. Buddhas, only the descendants of the dragon have the potential to become Buddhas. Here, descendants of the dragon refers not only to the Chinese but to all Eastern peoples, excluding the descendants of Adam and Eve. Super-celestial beings are Buddhas, but not all Buddhas are super-celestial beings. They form a special category within the Buddha realm, however, they do not attain the supreme wisdom and capabilities inherent in the highest Buddha nature. Super-celestial beings are merely angels, subject to the commands of the gods, whereas Buddhas, at their highest level, can almost rival the gods. Attaining Buddhahood is exceedingly difficult. My advice to Easterners is to first strive toward the 1,000-year world rather than expect to ascend directly to the highest realm in a single leap. Becoming a super-celestial being is no easy feat either. Ordinary people should follow the path of the sages and then progress toward the 1,000-year world. For the members of Lifechanyuan, since they have a guide, they should devote themselves wholeheartedly to the pursuit of becoming super-celestial beings. Opportunities like this are rare. Once missed, the chance to become a super-celestial being may be lost forever. The difference between super-celestial beings and Buddhas, Part 2. Xiefeng. A celestial being is one who dwells in the mountains. A Buddha is one who transcends human limitations. Celestial beings are detached from worldly affairs, roaming freely in nature, while Buddhas pursue supreme enlightenment under strict divine laws. Celestial beings are divided into 5 ranks. Super-celestial beings reside in the Celestial Islands continent. Deity celestial beings have no fixed abode. Land celestial beings reside in the 10,000-year world. Human celestial beings reside in the 1,000-year world. Ghost celestial beings reside in the space between the yin and yang spaces. Buddhas have 10 levels, each residing in a different continent: Lotus continent, Borneo continent, Kasayapa continent, Ingwu continent, Amida Buddha continent, Celestial Islands continent, Three Realms Transit continent, Moon Temple continent, God's continent, and Supreme Enlightenment continent. All super-celestial beings are Buddhas, for the super-celestial beings of the Celestial Islands continent have attained Buddhahood. However, Buddhas are not necessarily super celestial beings. Buddhas never cease their pursuit of supreme enlightenment. Buddhas embody solemnity, while celestial beings embody fluidity and spontaneity. It is easy to become a celestial being by worshipping Buddhas, yet practicing as a celestial being makes it difficult to attain Buddhahood. To become a celestial being, one must first worship Buddhas. Within the Buddha realm, the status of super celestial beings is intermediate, comparable to university graduates. Above them are those akin to graduate students, master's students, and doctoral students. Super celestial beings, like university graduates, cease further studies, whereas Buddhas never abandon their pursuit of higher learning. Super celestial beings focus on self-amusement and do not concern themselves with the affairs of heaven or humanity. Buddhas, on the other hand, seek neither entertainment nor temporary ease but devote themselves to attaining supreme enlightenment. Super celestial beings are the freest, happiest, and most blissful beings in the entire universe. They are the greatest creator's favorites, bearing no responsibilities or obligations. Buddhas, by contrast, are the wisest beings in the universe, strict in self-discipline and willing to take on responsibilities and obligations when necessary. Super celestial beings possess all supernatural abilities, but they use them primarily for personal amusement. Buddhas, as they ascend in their enlightenment, develop varying levels of supernatural abilities, which they use to fulfill responsibilities and obligations. The path to becoming a celestial being differs somewhat from the path to Buddhahood. There are no restrictions in becoming a celestial being, while the path to Buddhahood is heavily regulated by strict precepts. Becoming a super celestial being is easy, becoming a Buddha is difficult.